Hello, friends. You are listening to the Wellness Inspired Podcast. I'm your host, Sherry Davidson, and I am here with my co-host, Finn. And for those of you that are new to the podcast, Finn is my terrier mix rescue dog. He has been with me since 2012. He is a big part of my life and my practice. So much, I made him the chief executive greeter at Element 5 Acupuncture and Wellness. He is a huge hit there, and he adds an element of love and healing that is way outside my scope of practice. We make a great team there and in life. He is my best friend, and that's why this podcast is about pets too. And this episode is about pet wellness. But first, a teaser for an upcoming episode. Are you familiar with Feng Shui? It is the Chinese art and practice that focuses on the placement of objects in order to create a sense of balance and harmony. And one important goal of Feng Shui is to promote health and wellness by improving the flow of energy in your environment. Now, Feng Shui can be very complex, especially in classical Feng Shui. You know, I studied Feng Shui while I was in Chinese medical school in Austin. And I started studying it because of my design background. I thought it would be a great fit. And I studied classical Feng Shui. And in the end, I stopped because I realized that this is a whole other career. And I wanted to focus my attention on traditional Chinese medicine. So we're going to keep it simple here because it can get really complex. But maybe in the future episodes, we can jump in a little bit deeper. So I have invited Frankie Hickson, a Feng Shui practitioner in Houston, onto the podcast to talk about the benefits of Feng Shui for health. So I hope you tune in because I think it'll be an exciting episode. All right, let's dive into this episode on pet wellness. You know, wellness is often associated with human health, but is just as important for pets. In this episode, we gravitated toward dogs because of my co-host, Finn, but wellness is for all pets. I had a cat for 17 years. His name was Jack, and he was the best cat ever. He stuck with me through thick and thin. And 17 years for a cat is long, but it's not long enough in the big scheme of things. And it's the same with dogs. They don't live long enough. Finn is pushing 11, we think, because he's a rescue dog. And he has slowed down a bit. And he was also a few years ago diagnosed with intervertebral disc disease. So we have to be a little more cautious these days. You know, he's a beautiful trail runner, but we had to pull back on the intense trail running. And that's okay. He still gets out there. He loves going to my parents because he is free to explore and run around. And he does it all with a huge smile on his face. And it makes me so happy to see him like that. So with all of that said, when he has an episode, it breaks my heart. I don't want to see him in pain. And unfortunately, it is a progressive disease. And I will do anything to keep him out of an episode, prolonging his quality of life and keeping him on the trails as long as he can be there, even if we're walking. And I'm happy to say he is doing great. We're learning how to manage them. When he is in an episode, he has medication, so he goes the Western route. He has anti-inflammatories, muscle relaxers, and pain meds. However, the goal is to keep him out of an episode, or at least reduce them. And we have done that with chiropractic adjustments, massage, cold laser therapy, aquatherapy, and acupuncture. So I think we know a little bit about pet wellness. We have seen firsthand that dogs can greatly benefit from a wellness approach to care. Now, Finn has something we're trying to manage, but a wellness approach to care is for every dog to increase their vitality and longevity. We want them at their best for as long as we can have them. And that means not only providing them with the basics like food, shelter, but also making sure they get a nutritious diet and routine physical exams, vaccinations, and blood work. And it's also important to get plenty of exercise, socialization, and mental stimulation, just like us. A wellness-centered approach to pet care can help dogs stay healthy both physically and mentally. And it can also prevent behavior problems from developing. And in addition, and this is my favorite, wellness care can help build the bond between owner and dog, leading to a happier and more rewarding relationship. It's a win-win situation. So if you're looking to improve your dog's health and well-being, wellness is the way to go. So let's jump into our conversation with Dr. Ashley Woods. She is a doctor of veterinarian medicine. She graduated from Tuskegee School of Veterinarian Medicine in 2011. She got a master's of animal science in 2007 from Prairie View A&M University. And she has a bachelor's of arts in English from Oberlin College. She is also a wife, a mom of 2 twin girls, and a furry dog and cat. And she currently works at Sunset Animal Hospital as a day and urgent care practitioner. So let's do this. Hi, Dr. Woods.
Morning.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here. I invited you because you are a veterinarian.
Yes.
And an awesome one.
Thank you.
And you are also Finn's vet.
Yes.
Yeah. Finn is I don't know if you know this, but Finn is the co-host of this show.
Oh.
Yes.
Finn's laying down on the job.
He's supporting us. So we thought it would be fun to have you on to talk about pet wellness.
Yes.
And I looked up some stats, and I don't know if these are good resources. The American Pet Product Association. Have you heard of them?
I haven't.
You haven't? So, yeah. Well, they said that 70% of U.S. households have at least one pet. And I read that it was the highest on record, and it's just growing.
Sounds accurate.
Yeah. But I think that pets, and for me, dogs, I had a cat once. My cat's name was Jack, but now I just have Finn. And I think pets have found their way into our homes and our hearts. And I think of Finn as a family member. My mom calls him my firstborn.
Mm-hmm. Their grandchildren.
Her grandchildren, exactly. I am a dog mom, and I know I'm not the only one out there. And again, another stat from the American Pet Products is predicting that we'll spend nearly $109 billion this year on our pets.
There's a large increase in people spending more money on pets also because people aren't really having children. So pets have become children.
Yeah.
And so everyone's super interested in taking care of their dogs, which we do see. It's increasing how long dogs live and how better they live. Well, and cats. We don't want to forget cats.
Yeah, don't forget cats.
But they're worth it.
They are worth it.
Expensive, but worth it.
They don't live long enough for me. They just don't live long enough. So anything that I can do to prolong his life and keep him healthy, I want to do.
Right.
So Finn is super into wellness. He sees you yearly or as needed when he has his flare-ups. But he's been doing acupuncture, chiropractic adjustments, aquatherapy, cold laser therapy.
Good.
He's been doing it all.
Everything that we can do that doesn't rely on always taking a pill every day is great.
I really love that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, medicine, just like with us, taking a pill every single day is going to cause side effects. So if we can find additional ways to support our animals that are outside of typical Western medicine, that's really good.
Yeah. I love that so much. And I think that's why I love you so much. And I love you taking care of Finn.
Thank you.
So anyways, I think this is a great topic for our podcast. What I would love for our listeners to get out of this by the end of our conversation are the top things that we can do for our pets and their wellness. But before we jump into that conversation, I would love for you to tell people about you.
Okay.
So we can start there and then we'll jump into our conversation.
So my full name is Ashley Woods. I have been practicing for 11 years yesterday.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I have always done small animal, some exotics when I first graduated. So I worked for a large corporation for 3 years, left them and relief. So basically relief is just sort of like substitute teaching for veterinary medicine. I did that for 3 months to take a little bit of a break. And then I started and did emergency medicine for 1 year. I did that overnight and then transitioned into a day overnight practitioner.
Sorry. He wants to get in my lap.
You can get up, Finn.
We are trying to record a podcast. Yes, I know. Okay, get down. Okay. Sorry.
So I transitioned to it was an overnight day emergent practice. So I saw emergencies and saw general wellness appointments. And I've done that now almost 8 years. In between that, I also with my previous employer, started a nonprofit. Some people may know of it, Mercy Animal Hospital. So we saw pets for 3 years as a nonprofit, where my goal was to help people who can't necessarily afford regular day practices because costs are very high. And so we wanted to provide full service quality medicine to people who otherwise don't have access to it. This is our way to try to keep pets in people's households or avoid euthanasia in cases that we can treat. So, because pets are important, with senior people like the citizens, they love their pets, but they can't always afford to take care of them. So we did that for 3 years until we lost our lease. So I'm now back at Sunset Animal Hospital, seeing day emergencies and day general medicine for now. And then hopefully transitioning to buying something or going into another sort of nonprofit situation on my own.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know the story behind it. I didn't know what your mission was behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So 'cause that's where I met you.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I met you at Mercy Pet Clinic. And I think one of the things that, like I said, I really appreciated about you was, I want to take care of Finn, but sometimes I do feel like people upsell me a lot. And I really want to take care of my dog. I want to do what's best for him, but I want to know what that is. What do I need to do?
What's the base?
What's the base of what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I really appreciated that about you and Mercy Pet Clinic. So we're still with you.
Yeah, we miss the practice, but I think that's something that a lot of people see just even in general human medicine.
Yeah.
Like if you're seeing your regular PCP, they often are like, hey, but do you want these vitamins at the end of your visit?
Yeah.
And like, do I need these vitamins?
Yeah.
And I think that happens in veterinary medicine just because we sort of are like PCPs. So doctors are trying to survive and pay their bills. So, and then they're also, off their salary, they also, some places get production. So then it's like, if I sell you more, I technically make more at the end of the month. But that's never, I became a veterinarian knowing this wasn't going to be, I'm not going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
That's unfortunately most veterinarians, we just aren't going to be, at least not just with practice. Yeah. So, I know how I want to be treated. Yeah. I've had lots of emergencies with my own dogs because they're bad. And if you can just be honest with me, do I need an x-ray? Yeah. If I really need an x-ray, we'd figure it out. But if you don't, try these meds and see what happens.
Yeah. 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 No, I really appreciate that. So what did make you become a veterinarian?
Oddly, I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So I did all these camps to do marine biology, and then I realized that was more than animals, and there's a lot of plants involved. And so I then pivoted because it was more about the animal. So I decided I would do veterinary medicine and focus on marine animals.
Okay.
But exotics is a very small portion of veterinarians, and they're very difficult jobs to get. And I'm an older vet. I went to vet school after my master's. So I started vet school about at 24. So I graduated when I was close to 30. And I was like, I'm ready to just go one place and be there. And I'm not going to just fly around looking for a job. So
yeah. Okay. Are you from Houston?
Sort of. I'm an Army brat. So Houston is home because my parents are here, but I'm from everywhere.
You're from my dad was that way. His dad was in the Air Force. Mm-hmm. He moved around a lot. Yeah.
It's nice. But then, at some point.
Yeah.
You want roots.
Yeah.
Now I'm ready to move again, but.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. My dad was the same way because he was, he traveled around a lot when he was in school, and now he doesn't want to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. His roots are down. He's like, I traveled. I don't need to. I want my friends. I want my home. That's it.
Yeah. I think as adults, it's harder.
Yeah.
Because, as a kid, you're like, oh, okay. And everybody's naturally makes friends when you're a child. Yeah. And then as you get older, it gets weird. And
yeah.
We all get our own anxieties about stuff. So then you just stay at home.
Just stay at home. Okay, great. Well, so you ran the nonprofit. That's where we met, Mercy Pet Clinic. And I think you already answered my question as far as what your interest was in running the nonprofit. And that was bringing affordable health care with quality care to people. So that would keep pets in homes. Right. And maybe off the streets
and decreasing euthanasia. And then in Houston, our major issue is the amount of pets we have on the streets.
Yeah.
A lot of that has to do with that we don't educate about spaying and neutering and why we spay and neuter.
Yeah.
Culturally, Southerners do not spay and neuter, and culturally, we have pets who just live outside. There's nothing wrong with a dog being outside, if things are taken care of correctly.
Yeah.
But there's a lack of education. And there's a big disparity between really expensive hospitals and then like the low cost vaccine clinic.
Yeah.
And that's education. So when you're going in the low cost, for them to stay afloat is to see as many pets as they can. So that means I have 5 minutes with you, but in 5 minutes, am I teaching you about, heartworms, why we spay and neuter? And they're not. So then, a lot of those clients we saw at Mercy had they didn't know why they were in heartworm prevention, or they would give one heartworm pill and say, oh, that's what I got, and then never give it again because they were never told why they were doing it.
Interesting.
So most people want to, definitely there's the outliers who never follow directions.
Yeah.
But definitely most people want to do the best for their pet.
And they just don't know. Now, did you see that a majority were rescue dogs?
We
Or
see
cats?
probably, I would say 50-50.
Yeah.
The people who tend to rescue always rescue. And like cat people, those cats always find them.
Yeah.
It's like these cats know this place is a place for me. And then other ones are people buy a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
There's still a big
market
for buying dogs. And Craigslist is, a big issue with that. It's great for backyard breeders. So they're breeding, sick puppies and selling them. And then those people, you can't ever get in contact with them. But there's big money in selling. So until people stop buying as much or making sure they buy from, a reputable source, they're going to continue to do that.
Yeah. I was just wondering if any of the rescue, like Friends for Life or the, what's the big one? The big rescue.
HPA, Houston Pets Alive?
Yes, maybe it's Houston Pets Alive. Do they do any kind of education? But they're already neutered and...
Yes, most of them are neutered and spayed when they are adopted. So Friends for Life does a ton of education.
Okay.
They're really good about educating. They help their fosters and their rescuers once they get their pets with training, behavioral help. So they're very good about that. I do think they probably have the subset of people who already know a lot of that and who are willing to do all of that work. HPA, they started after Harvey. That's why they actually came down here. It's an offset of Austin Pets Alive. Okay. And so they were honestly overwhelmed. They had so many animals.
After Harvey?
After Harvey. And a lot of them were pit bull mixes. And so we actually worked with them when we opened after Harvey and helped with a lot of their spay neuters because they actually didn't have a vet. Because they started off as just trying to, help with all these pets that were just floating around after the storm.
That's crazy. This is a little bit off subject, but I do want to ask you. A lot of people are scared of pit bulls. What are your thoughts? And
I have probably met 2 pit bulls who are actually aggressive. In 11 years.
They're like big teddy bears.
Yeah, they're typically super sweet.
Yeah.
Those dogs that were aggressive are dogs who were often backyard dogs and only socialized with the family. So a big part of it is socialization.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some of those pit bulls that end up in rescue situations are dogs who were fought or used as bait dogs. And so they can sometimes be a little more difficult behaviorally. Yeah. But typically still are very good with humans. It's another dog component would be what makes them aggressive. But most of those dogs with training and patience, most dogs with training and patience are very good.
Yeah. I saw one of my friends, she had a pit bull, and so I knew her when it was a puppy. And it was 110 pounds.
Wild.
Happiness. And it was a snuggler, and she had a little kitten. And she would post videos of the cat just swatting the dog in the face. And the dog was so gentle with the cat. It was super sweet.
I would say, pit bulls, most big dogs are either going to love kittens and cats or chase them. There's no in between. Right. But I would say most big dogs are the ones who really want to cuddle. I had a Rottweiler, and that's who he would sit in my lap all day if he could.
Just want love.
And then my Min Pin was like, you need to stay away from me. So... Yeah.
Well, Finn is not a snuggler, but he is attached to my side, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, they don't have to. Sometimes it's Nice not to have a snuggling. You have children, you know.
Yeah.
You don't want a lot of snuggling.
A lot of snuggling. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay, so how much of your practice would you say is managing lifestyle conditions like obesity or I don't know about diabetes. Is that more of a lifestyle for a dog?
So for a dog,
condition?
diabetes is so diabetes in dogs is based off overfeeding.
Overfeeding.
So
Okay.
that's just like type 2, type 1. I always get them
Type
confused
2.
in people. So it is about diet, but once dogs are diabetic, there's nothing, we just have to stay on insulin for life. If a cat becomes diabetic, they could always become not diabetic through insulin and diet. They can switch off, but it is all health. So that's based off overfeeding, not enough exercise.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is more genetic, so certain breeds are prone to diabetes. But
like which ones?
so miniature pinchers can be diabetic.
Okay.
Schnauzers. Now, honestly, we see everything. A lot of diseases. I think I've talked to you about this, that we were taught in school were things we would never see. We see very commonly now, which I think has to be environmental of some sort.
Really?
Because most people, I would say now, are taking better care of their pets and very conscious of nutrition. And
so the things that you saw when you were in vet school were uncommon and now they're very common, like diabetes.
Right.
And
so vet school, just like a specialty practice, we see more of the outliers. So when a veterinarian says to you, hey, you need to see a specialist, it's more because it's something that we haven't seen very commonly. And the specialist typically sees those weird cases that are outliers. Now, certain practices, I mean, at Sunset, we see a ton of things, but a lot of that stuff is really common that we see. And I'll have friends who practice elsewhere ask questions about stuff they see. They'll see them like once a year, but we see them all the time.
Interesting. And so you think it's more environmental?
I think a lot of
toxins, like environmental toxins.
I think there's just, it's just like people, like we see a lot, and maybe it's that we're more part of it. We do more diagnostics now than we ever have done before, really. And maybe we're just more aware, but I definitely think that there's something, we see a lot of cancers.
Yeah.
A lot of odd endocrine disorders that weren't as common.
Yeah.
And it's always which one is which. Is it that there's more of this happening, or is it that we do just diagnose more and people are more aware of what's happening with their pets?
Which is probably a combination of all of them. Yeah.
Well, because previously people just fed their dog scraps and, you live till you live.
Yeah. And that's the other question I have around dog food.
It's a hot topic.
It's a hot topic. Yeah. Like, what do I feed my dog? And I know recently, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, I was vegan for a couple of years, but there was on social media, this vegan dog food that was going viral. And I don't know what to think about that.
So traditionally, if we look back at like evolution, dogs are omnivores just like a human, but obviously humans can live on a vegan diet. We have tons and tons of allergies in dogs. So some dogs really, with food allergies, the only diet that we've seen helps them really are like vegetarian diets. Really? Those dogs have obviously been, we don't just go say, hey, start them on a vegetarian diet. But if you've done food testing and you're allergic to typically if you have food allergy, it's to the protein. So chicken, turkey are big causes of food allergy. But if you're allergic to also like the filler, so potato, corn, so most of the novel protein diets. So let's say let's try rabbit. It's paired with potato. But then if you have a potato allergy, what do we do?
Yeah.
So they did start a vegetarian diet. I think when I first graduated, there was a vegetarian diet out there that was marketed. I just think not many dogs were on it.
Interesting.
So it's not the worst thing if it's well balanced, so we need to make sure that they're getting the protein from whatever protein source. The problem is with most of these new diets is they're not FDA regulated. So there isn't, and that, obviously does the FDA do a great job at everything they do? Not necessarily, but the thing is that then there's no research on it.
Yeah. And
that's what we've seen happen with gluten-free diets is until there's research, then we don't know the side effects.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was curious about that. So would you recommend, and I know it's highly individualized, like depending on the dog or cat should not be.
No, cats are primarily carnivores. So they should actually, if you really want to feed your cat something novel, just feed them chicken.
Yeah. Really?
So cats, if they have a food allergy, it's to fish.
Oh, interesting.
Typically about 80% food allergies in fish, but they would just, if a cat was running wild, they would just eat mice. So you could just feed them chicken if you really want, because they don't need any carbs.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, when I first heard about the vegan diets for dogs, I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it because I just don't have any knowledge on it. But so not talking about cats, but dogs, would you recommend, generally speaking, they have a reason to be vegan?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't just put them on a vegan diet.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're a human, you should know what you're doing before you're just like, oh, I'm going to be a vegan.
Right. Yeah.
So
there are a lot of unhealthy vegans out there.
Yeah. You can't just eat chips.
Yep. Processed foods.
I would find a veterinarian that seems open
to
having a dietary conversation with you. And that can be difficult, but they're out there.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I've run into quite a few vets that questioned what I did because I give him herbs. You know that. I give him herbs.
It's things that are, I mean, it's just, again, like human traditional medicine, things that are outside of people's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Immediately scares them. Yeah. And I would say, with you, like, obviously, the herbs.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of acupuncturists that practice animal medicine and are also certified in herbs. So we obviously give them to animals.
Yeah. Yeah. And they work really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if you can take it, it's just like your kid. If I can take it and I'm okay with it, then I can give it to my children. But I'll try it on myself first.
Well, I know that, I don't know about in other states, or other cities, but I know in Houston, the practices here that do acupuncture and the chiropractic, they're booked for months. It is so hard to get.
Yeah, there aren't a lot, and that's kind of the issue. Or people who are certified end up not practicing for whatever reason, or a lot of them are in traditional practices, and that's something that they do, but then you get overwhelmed with regular day-to-day, because an acupuncture herb appointment is going to be a lot longer than just, here's your vaccine. Yeah. And that's kind of the issue. So,
well, the place I take him to, I think that's all they do. They do the acupuncture and chiropractic and the aquatherapy, but it's the chiropractic rehabilitation center. But yeah, it is so hard to get an appointment with them.
Because once you go, you're like, oh, okay, it does work.
Yeah.
And so then you're going to keep going with your pets. And then they become, every dog goes after. So I'm going to always take my dogs.
Well, it was funny. So this was during COVID. Well, it was after shut or lockdown, but I had to sit in my car and wait on him. And they brought him out and they put him in the car, and he had just had acupuncture. He did chiropractic and he did aquatherapy. He did all of it in one, I think I was there for 3 hours.
I was going to say, that was a long wait.
I was waiting for a very long time. But he came out and they put him in the car and he smelled like lavender. And I was like, you are such my dog.
Came up. They typically use lavender or rescue remedy to help calm before they do the acupuncture appointment. Because, obviously we don't want to sedate you because that's not going to work.
Right.
So some animals aren't great acupuncture patients, but there's other options too.
Yeah, like what?
So you could do chiropractic care. There are massage therapists, water therapy. So most of these places do a ton of stuff. And then honestly, if you just can't do anything, the dog doesn't want you to touch him at all. There's herb therapy. So. Yeah,
they actually use a line that I'm familiar with. I have a few of their formulas here. It was I think they did Health Concern. Most
of the herbs are still the same stuff. Just like regular medicine that we use, like Western medicine at the practice. It's all human medicine. Yeah. We switch out like dosaging.
So do you guys do any of that at Sunset?
So the only thing we use at Sunset is Yun and Bayou.
Oh, really? To stop bleeding?
Yes, because it works. And so even traditional, internal medicine, surgery doctors, they use Yunnan Baiyao. So it will, at some point, people will start being more open because they know that works. But we don't have any like otherwise alternative medicine there currently.
So I wonder how they got introduced to Yunnan Baiyao.
I'm not sure at Sunset if it was, I think it was me.
Was it you? Yeah. Because it is really, and so do you guys use it internally or do you use the powder?
We do both.
You do both.
So it depends on what's happening. So I actually have a funny story because one of the doctors had a dog who was shot and he couldn't get it to stop bleeding. He was like pouring all the Yunnan Baiyao, like everything in to try to stop it.
Yeah.
But I think that he may have given it orally. I was like, open up the capsule next time and do it topically, but you can use it both ways, the same way.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you know that if I remember correctly, that formula was made, well, obviously thousands of years ago, but it was used in war. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they would pack wounds with the Yunnan Baiyao.
Just go fight again.
Yeah. You know, where do you guys get your Yunnan Baiyao from?
So the medical director buys it. Okay. I have had that conversation with her that if she's just buying on Amazon, that's not ideal because we want to know where our herbs are coming from. Yeah. But there is, one of the bigger schools, so there's only 2 schools really in the United States for acupuncture with pets. And that's, there's a whole institute in Florida that's where I went to, and then associated with University of Colorado. And so in Florida, they actually have their own herbal shop. And so the doctor, he is from China and he sources the herbs from China himself. Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's better. So I can order those online actually.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, I know you sent me because Finn has the fatty,
the little
lipomas. Yeah. And so I think you sent me Bajantong.
Oh, I think I have to. Yeah, because I have an herb book. Yeah, on my phone.
I think you sent that. I gave it to him for a while, or actually, I think I had it made, and then now I have him like on a kidney formula, like Louis Di Huangwan is what I have him on right now. But I need to put him back on the phlegm, dampness and phlegm.
Yeah, well, it's hard.
I love it that I can talk to you about this.
It's hard because once they start one lipoma, I feel like they
continue
build them up. Yeah, it's breed specific, and then it's certain dogs. They just labs love them.
Labs. Mm-hmm. I think he's got lab in him.
Mm-hmm. They love. It's just something with them. But some of it is also goes back to weight. If you're a little bit chubby, they tend to get lipomas.
Yeah, I've tried to get him to lose a little weight, but he can't run as much.
Back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what is the most common lifestyle condition that you see? Related condition that you see?
I would probably say overweight.
Overfeeding and overweight.
Yeah. So, and then that leads to things like pancreatitis. Mm-hmm. Food is love with humans. And so people love to feed their pets and they have a tendency to think, oh, they're skinny. And it's like, no, they're supposed to look like that. Yeah. You're supposed to have a little tuck. If I can see a little bit of your rib, that's okay. Yeah. It's the coverage over, the back. So making sure I can't feel all your spine and the coverage over the hips.
So what would be a good way, if you could describe it on the podcast, a good way for someone to assess their dog?
Weight.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at your dog from behind, if their head looks tiny compared to the rest of their body, they're too big. Yeah. The hard thing with that is some dogs do have wider chests, and so that can make them look wider. Mm-hmm. So you also want to make sure they have a tuck. So basically the way we used to draw women, where they have a curve and then it goes in, like it tucks at the waist.
Is that what you're tucks at the waist?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you want to have a little tuck there. Mm-hmm. And so then when you're touching at the ribs, you should be able to feel the ribs to, with a little fat coverage. You don't have to poke through fat to get to it. Yeah. But you can always talk to your vet too and make sure, most vets will have those conversations if they think that they're, know. And a lot of dogs have gained a lot of, weight during COVID, just like people did, because nobody was active. And in Houston, it's hard because it's hot.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And that's a good question I want to ask you about the Houston heat and your dog. I mean, most cats stay inside. I run him, or I used to run him. Right. When it gets July, August, September, I don't. I walk in more, and he still pants and he doesn't drink. Oh, well, he will not drink water when we're out there.
I wonder if the humidity makes him feel hydrated.
That humidity.
Yeah, I would say in the summertime, early morning walks. Yeah. late evening walks. If you have to go out in the middle of the day, just let them go and come right back in, because it's just, we see a ton of heat stroke.
So what is that for our listeners? What are the signs of a heat stroke?
So they're going to start lagging while they're running or doing whatever their activity is. They tend to just pass out. Dogs will just kind of lay down. They can't catch their breath. So continued panting, and not even wanting to drink. And you can feel kind of on dogs' ears or around their gums. Dogs' average temperature is higher than ours, so that sometimes is not adequate to figure that out, but you can feel in their mouth and feel like if they're too hot. And if you look at their gums or their tongue, if they're brick red, they're way too hot.
Yeah. Okay.
So that brick red color, they should be a baby pink. Sometimes a little bit pinker when they're hot.
So their gums and their tongue?
But brick red is not good.
Okay. And so I heard, and I always do this with him, that if they are overheated, their paws are the best way to cool them off.
Yes.
Yeah. So you just put them in water.
So, like room temperature water, you don't want them to be too cold, or actually even spraying all their paw pads with alcohol will start to cool them down faster.
Really? So you just
spray with alcohol. That's what we do. Yeah, that's the start of cooling temperatures at the clinic.
Interesting. What do you think about those cooling vests?
Oh, when they're outside? I haven't seen those.
No?
I mean, it's probably...
Rough Wear has them, and I bought him one, but I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, is it for like when they're exercising?
Yeah, or just outside walking.
Yeah,
it seems like I got it last year. I didn't try it. I need to try it this year. It just seems it's a thick coat.
Oh, it seems heavy,
and it just seems like it's supposed to be cooling, but it's this really thick jacket.
It's like wearing a down coat outside right now. It may in some ways protect, because that's why I always tell people you don't really need. It does feel like against what we think, because I'm not going to walk outside in a fur coat, but their coat also does help protect them. So there's a reason for having a coat, and that's why dogs know to shed, and there's a portion of that protects against sun. So that's a barrier. But it'll be interesting to see what the vest does.
Yeah, I'm going to try it this year because it's hot out there now. It's
very hot,
and I still like to take him on the trails because he's so happy out there.
It's still nice-ish in the morning.
Well, that's usually when we go. So yeah, I'll let you know how it.
You might like it.
Maybe.
I wouldn't mind a cooling vest.
Walk around Houston,
looking crazy, but it would feel nice.
That's right. You just go inside because we keep it so cold inside during the summer.
Yeah, it's too cold.
Yeah. So, what other wellness tips do you have for people?
So I would say just make sure you keep up with at least yearly visits. Most clinics do want you to come in every 6 months. Some people don't want to do that, and that's, it's hard to get yourself into a doctor. So I understand, schedules, but at least yearly.
Yeah.
And if you can start doing blood work yearly, you don't have to do it at 1 or 2 necessarily, but I would say by at least 3, do yearly blood work, because what that does is gives us a marker. So even if it comes back with everything normal, it's not a reason to say, oh, I wasted my money. That gives us a marker. So let's say at 8, all of a sudden something's wrong. We have something to compare to know what was their regular. So, oh, maybe this is something we need to monitor.
Yeah.
Kidney disease, liver disease, that's stuff that we can, if we're ahead of the game, we can fix. Heart disease, if we're, diagnosing earlier, they can live longer, versus us diagnosing when you're already in congestive heart failure.
Right.
Then we don't buy you as much time.
Right. So a blood test, 6 months or yearly. Yeah.
And just an exam.
Yeah.
There's a lot that can be found on physical exam.
Yeah. Yeah. And what age are they considered geriatric?
It depends. Yeah, it depends on the breed. So giant breeds, so Mastiffs, Great Danes, they're typically geriatric around 5, because those lifespans of those dogs typically is 7 to 10. We see a lot more older dogs that, otherwise wouldn't be living that long. But smaller breeds, if you're a Chihuahua or a Shih Tzu or something like that, they're typically, we see 15-year-old like Yorkies now. So those can live till they're like 18. It just really depends on the dog. Little mixed breeds like Finn typically live longer too.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Because they're not genetically as, not nicely saying this, but as messed up as, something that's purebred. So they're not getting all of the inbred disease.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that rescues tend to be healthier because
Yeah.
they're not the purebreds. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Our rescue growing up, he lived till he was like 17. And my parents, I mean, they did their best, but that was
Yeah.
before, a dog was a dog. I mean, he
Yeah.
got neutered when he was like 15. So, they do tend to do better.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I hope so because I look at him all the time. I'm like, okay, you're pushing 11, we think. But he still has a ton of life.
Yeah, he
and
seems not 11.
he doesn't seem 11 at all. He probably could. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to ask you. As they age, what about weight?
So you still want to keep them smaller. So as they age, if their exercise, dwindles down, then you want to go to like, let's do more short walks. So you may not be going on like the 2 miles.
Right.
But continuing to walk helps with long term with everything, weight gain,
Yeah.
arthritis, because they're continuing to move. And I think it keeps them, moving and happy.
Yeah.
So you want to keep them going as long as they can. You just maybe have to decrease it some.
Yeah. We've decreased it. His longest run was 8 miles.
That's still now?
No,
Oh,
no.
like, oh, that's really long though. Even when you're so short, Finn, to achieve 8 miles.
He did 8 miles out at Huntsville, and he was not ready to stop.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was like the kid in the back of the car sitting up, falling asleep. Like, I don't want to go to sleep. It was super sweet, but we don't do that anymore. But we do go on walks. I try and take him out to the trails on Sundays, and then we just do shorter walks during the week. But he hasn't had a flare up in a really long time.
Yeah,
so
he's doing well.
He's doing really well. He did have a little bit of a flare up maybe a month ago, but I have the meds. I know how to control it now.
Yeah.
Before, I was just freaking out all the time because he's my firstborn.
Yeah. When they're your child, and that's what I always tell everybody, your child.
Yeah.
So when something's wrong and never feel concerned or frustrated when you go to the vet. Like it's a good thing to do, even if you say, oh, they come here and they're fine. But it's better to err on the side of caution than not. So when you know something's wrong, it's okay to go in.
Yeah.
Even if like, oh, we didn't really find anything, it's better to come in than to figure it out that something was really wrong because you waited days.
Right. Yeah, which I will not do. But, I think that when that initially happened, I think he learned that it was scary for me. And then every time he goes into an episode, it's almost like he thinks he's in trouble.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the hard thing. Animals feed off our anxiety. And so, just reassure him.
Yeah, I know. That's what I started doing. I'm a lot more calmer these days.
It's easy to panic.
Yeah.
Because they can't say anything. They can't say what hurts
that's the hard part.
Just like they look at you and they look sad.
The tail's tucked and they're panting and they're not moving and you're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no vet is going to judge you for being upset. I've seen all shapes and sizes of people come in with an emergency, and I've definitely been that mom. Yeah. I've drove with my dog shaking him because I thought he had a concussion. It's okay if they sleep with a concussion.
How many dogs do you have?
Right now I only have one. We lost our 2 oldest in the beginning of COVID.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And then with 2 human animals, we have been just need to wait. But
well, they are a responsibility. They should be.
They are a responsibility. I always say now there is more insurance options, but they are children without insurance, so they're very expensive. Insurance is good. Most of them don't. The hard thing is it is different than human medicine. So you're still going to ask to pay up front and the insurance company will reimburse you. But there are some insurance agencies that will pay you almost like direct deposit.
Yeah.
And that's, what's the name of that insurance? I can't think. It's something with a V. I can't think of it. But they only do emergent care. Nationwide is more along the lines of a human medicine. So they will cover wellness and emergencies.
Oh, really?
A portion of it. So there's a lot of good insurances out there. And it's nice to have when something happens and you're not prepared.
Yeah, and it's not really expensive, is it?
No, not if I would say get it early. So if you get a puppy, go look into it. If you're trying to insure an 8-year-old Mastiff, it's going to be higher.
Yeah. Yeah, I've looked at it for him. And I think it was, at the time when I looked at it, I think it was $80 a month, which it's not a lot, but
If you're not using it,
if you're not using it, yeah.
I mean, in that, $50 to $80, it doesn't seem like a lot till it is. And I mean,
but when something happens and it,
yeah, well, and I learned that with my first dog. The other dogs I probably would have never injured, but he had a major emergency every year, and I had no money. So it was just, he had a credit card. And
things we do for our dogs.
Yeah, well, what am I going to do? You're my kid. I decided to take the responsibility. Now I know why my mom said don't get a dog, but
yeah. Well, I didn't get my first dog until my 30s, I think. No, was it my 30s or my early 40s? I think it was my late 30s. I finally got a dog because I had a cat before that, but just responsibility because I was never home and I always lived in an apartment, and it was like, why?
Yeah. Well, and cats are easier.
They're easy.
You can leave them.
Yeah.
If you have traveled a lot and all of those things, it's hard with the dog, but.
Yeah. Well, my cat Jack was like a dog, but he was with me for 17 years.
That's great.
Yeah. It was sad day. Okay. What other lifestyle related conditions do you see besides overweight?
So most of it has to do with humans interfering with their dogs. So some of the things we see, like we were talking about diets. So gluten-free diet, their animals really don't have a gluten allergy. What people started touting that as is that it helps with itching allergies. And so then gluten-free became a huge thing, and there's still tons on the market. But we do know that can lead to heart disease in dogs. We don't know what it is within the gluten-free diet that causes that, but it's unfortunately that's humans trying to help their pets, and then we cause another issue.
Yeah.
So diet is really sensitive for most people.
A sensitive topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because most people want to do good for themselves, so they want to do good for their pets, and that's why they choose like a gluten-free diet. But there are plenty of natural other options and good diets that have some gluten in it.
So so putting a dog on a gluten-free diet can raise the risk of heart disease.
Yes. So we're seeing something called DCM in those dogs. So it's dilated cardiomyopathy. And I have diagnosed a few dogs with that. And the way they help with that disease is by starting them on taurine, which is a supplement that's not in those diets. And some of it's reversible, sometimes it's not, but it's something that can cause heart failure in dogs. So it's serious, and we want to be aware. But like I said, it's sensitive, and so we, if you want to feed something, I just would say bring it up to your vet, and hopefully they're a little more open-minded, because there's always something else we can fix. There are dog nutritionists now. Lots of people do home cooked diets, which are fine.
Yeah.
There's a lot more options out there and resources to doing home cooked diets. There used to not be. And so,
resources like companies that are supplying or providing these
the recipes. So if you're wanting to do the recipe at home, there are like farmer's dog.
Yeah.
So those are, home cooked food. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
But dogs like it.
Yeah. So
I would rather just make it all in a crock pot.
Yeah. So what is different about the food that, like, was it Farmhouse Dog? Farmhouse Dog would make, or something that I might make for Finn, like I might... Nothing.
Yeah. So Farmer's Dog, it's just about convenience.
Yeah.
So it's going to be nothing different than what you can do.
Yeah.
There was another similar food to Farmer's Dog that was adding a lot of herbs to their food. So, or like different foods that we know that help, like spice-wise, with inflammation, things like that.
Yeah.
I was getting dogs who actually were getting sick on that.
Oh, really?
And I have no idea what it was in the diet, because my dog's definitely stolen fish and had, whatever herbs were on there for the girls.
Right.
But, I think in those senses, if you really want to cook for your dog, then just cook for your dog.
Yeah.
Because it's better for them if you're doing it.
Well, I cook for him. And I put turmeric. I put some fish oil. I put Louis Di Huangguan in it. And then I put a couple of other herbal, like for pain and spasms.
Yeah.
But what would be, if somebody was going to make the food, or maybe even add it to a kibble, like what are the top supplements you would
So turmeric is
suggest?
good. Cinnamon is great as an anti-inflammatory.
Really?
Just with cinnamon, if you're going to use it, most vets aren't aware, but it is anticoagulant. So if your dog's going to go under for surgery, you would want to stop the cinnamon beforehand, and then let the doctor know, because we don't really want to use cinnamon in conjunction with an NSAID. But cinnamon works great. But I would say anything that you want to add. I mean, you just don't obviously want to add salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, although some dogs eat spicy food and they do fine. But most of any herb or spice you're adding on is fairly safe.
Okay.
But I wouldn't add a ton of it just because it can cause upset stomach.
And what do you think? Is fish oil a good thing?
Fish oil is fantastic.
Yeah.
So that works. So dogs with allergies, I always recommend it. Dogs who have major shedding problems, I recommend it. Coconut oil works really well, same way.
Okay.
Because all of this is anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
So you want to just help break that inflammation, because that's what causes allergies.
I need to let my mom know.
Yeah, and all the red skin.
You've met Abby, right?
Yes.
Abigail?
Mm-hmm.
So she wanted to be with my mom.
Mm-hmm. She chose her person.
She chose her person. And it's super sweet watching them. But she has really bad allergies. Really bad, all over her stomach.
Yeah, Houston's a hard place to live for everybody, but especially for the animals. So bathing more often when they're having allergy flares up. So you can bathe 2 to 3 times a week. Houston is humid, so you're not going to dry them out. If you live in like Vegas or California, do not bathe that often, because you are going to dry the dogs out. But bathing more often when they're having flare-ups, wiping their paws down when they come inside, helps remove all that pollen. Because we take a bath every day.
Yeah.
Or some people take a bath every day, but you're getting the pollen off, and they're not. There are a ton of, options, Western medicine-wise for allergies. I try to do as much topical as I can. It's just hard, and you have to be realistic. And if you're an owner and the doctor tells you all this stuff, like wipe them down all the time, and you're not going to do it, there's no shame. I had an allergy dog for 13 years. I did not treat him. I don't have time to give a dog a bath 3 times a week. But just be honest. Because it helps everyone figure out a plan that works for your dog if you're honest about it. Or you can go see an acupuncturist, and there's a ton of options herb-wise and acupuncture-wise for dogs with allergies.
Yeah, my mom's not going to do that.
What, babe?
The
acupuncture?
The acupuncture, just because she'd have to travel to do that too far. And bathing, it's just hard for her
Yeah,
to
it's hard
bathe.
to bathe the dog a lot.
So some kind of wipe or lotion would probably...
Yeah, and there are like little topical creams, but wiping...
Yeah. You said wiping their paws. Yeah.
That's where they're touching all the grass, and most of it is ragweed, I would say, in Houston. There's a ton of ragweed, but there are allergy tests you can get.
Yeah. And if somebody was going to do an allergy test, would that be through like a veterinarian? You
can do a blood test. I usually recommend seeing a dermatologist and actually doing a skin test, because that's really better. But if you're not going to do like allergy injections, it's a waste of your money. Then just treat them, because there's no, some people want to know what they're allergic to. Yeah. But if you're not, then
so
don't
there
worry
are
about
dermatologists for dogs? I didn't know that.
There's a specialty for everything.
No, I know. I just
but and it's hard and it's expensive. Yeah. My dog saw 2 dermatologists in his lifetime.
Really?
But, he was just allergic to the world. He needed a bubble.
He was allergic to the world. Oh. Well, I'll have to let my mom know that. As she can at least wipe and maybe put the fish oil or the coconut oil in her food. Yeah,
and dogs like it.
Yeah, he loves it.
It's greasy and smells bad, but they love it.
Like everything, he eats poop. I'm like, why do you eat poop? Like cat poop?
Oh, because it's high in protein. It tastes good.
Is that what it is?
I always call it cat crunchies. Yeah, they love cat crunchies.
Cat candy?
It's just disgusting.
It's so gross. Like we have a couple of feral cats that come around and poop in the flower beds and stuff.
Yeah, they're probably eating great stuff.
Oh yeah. And then he'll come in and I'll just see his beard has dirt in it, and I'm like, I know what you've been doing. Okay, well, any more tips of wellness that people can practice?
Yeah, I don't just find a vet that you're comfortable with. And then, I know it can be difficult with COVID. It's hard to get into vet clinics, and it's hard, we've lost a ton of vets and vet techs to the pandemic. So people just got burnt out, and it's a hard career.
Yeah.
And they're not, so just be kind when you go in. Everybody's doing their best, but I would find someone that you really like and connect with, and then stay with them. It's like finding a pediatrician. You find that one you really like, and then you stay with them.
Oh, you're not getting rid of us.
Yeah, I have clients who will find me.
Yeah.
And that's good, because you want to establish that with your clients, that I know you and I know what's going on in your life. And, because then you feel comfortable when you come to see us, and I feel comfortable seeing you.
Yeah.
It's easier too. We don't have to go through the whole history every single time I see you.
Yeah. Yeah. You have that baseline too.
And we already know.
You already know.
And then I also know when they're not feeling well. Because if this is the first time I'm meeting your pet, I don't know what their normal is. So I have to go off what you're saying to me.
Right.
But the more I see them, I say, oh, okay, they don't feel good today.
Yeah. Well, you're not getting rid of us. We are here to stay. So I have one more question before we end.
Yes.
Shots, vaccines. What are your recommendations? I know it seems like there used to be rabies, and now there's like
tons of other vaccines.
Ton of other yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
Vaccines are based off lifestyle choices. So if you are a dog that lives in your yard and then goes in the house and then that's it, you can get by with just, I would at least get a distemper parvo combination when you're a puppy. But you can get by with just a rabies.
Yeah.
But if you're a dog that goes to the dog park and then grooming and then goes to, to daycare and all these different activities, if your dog's very social, I do recommend additional vaccines. So distemper parvo, rabies, bordetella at the baseline.
Is bordetella, is that the kennel cough?
Kennel cough. So the hard thing with that is it only covers the most common viral kennel coughs that we see. There are tons of bacterial causes. So just because your dog's protected doesn't mean they can't get it. So they will sometimes get something, but we treat that with an antibiotic. If you, go do a lot of outside activities like Finn and they drink from water outside, I would recommend a leptospirosis, which is a bacteria that causes kidney and liver failure. And once they get it, it's very difficult for us to treat. We also can get it from them. So,
there was maybe, I don't know if it was before COVID. I think it might have been before, maybe right after, but there was something happening in Austin in the water.
Oh, yeah, it's blue-green, blue algae. Yeah, and there's nothing that they can do for that.
Nothing. Oh, that was so sad. I read a
Yeah.
story.
And it's hard because those are dogs who want to be active.
And in the water,
you want to protect your pets, but, it's that sort of thing like, do I live life? We can't live in fear. But and then after that, some places require other vaccines like influenzas. That's going to be based off your comfort in getting that vaccine. I try to talk to all my clients about vaccines because I know people are hesitant to do a ton.
Yeah.
I don't do a ton. My dog's never had influenza vaccines because once I got the third dog, we never went to dog parks because we couldn't. And I just wasn't super concerned about it. And so that's everyone's own concern and, the way you want to vaccinate, hopefully no one's going to fight you on that, but rabies is required by law. So if anything, get a rabies. It protects your dog too. If, something happened in Harris County, if your dog scratches someone, they treat it as a bite case.
Really?
Yes. It's ridiculous.
Really? If a dog scratches you, they treat it as a bite case.
So I've had dogs in rabies quarantine because they have scratched somebody and got reported.
I had no idea.
I didn't either till I saw that. But, it just protects them in the end because nobody wants their dogs in rabies quarantine. But, general vaccines are fine. All of them are much safer than they used to be. In cats, we do non-adjuvant vaccines. So we were used to see rabies sarcomas from the vaccine. We don't see that as often in cats because the vaccines are made safer.
Okay. And vaccines for cats are different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We try to do the non-adjuvant. And then otherwise there's only FERCP, which is basically the equivalent. Leukemia is separate.
Okay.
And then FERCP is the equivalent of like feline distemper. And feline leukemia I only give to cats who go outside, or if you're going to have you like to foster or bring cats with unknown history. If you just bring cats in your house, get a leukemia. But my cat doesn't have that.
Yeah. Okay.
She only gets a rabies now because she's around nobody.
Yeah.
So,
So I didn't even know dogs could get the flu.
All the influenza vaccines came out basically 10 years ago because we had a huge flu outbreak. And that actually, because the flu is so gross and jumps, it's the only virus, other than COVID now, all the coronaviruses do it, but that we knew like really just go from like animal to human and it can jump and transform between animals. Most viruses don't do that. Most animals all have their own viruses, but influenza the big outbreak came actually from horses. They're racing horses that were traveling with racing greyhounds, and the greyhounds got it, and then it spread. That was our first influenza outbreak.
And what does that look like? What are the signs and symptoms?
Same stuff as humans. So
Cough?
coughing, sneezing, then they'll start running a fever and just, general lethargy. And until we had a whole bunch of cases, no one knew to test. Most of them were probably treated like a kennel cough. And,
So it came from a horse.
That first one. The second one was a whole bunch of dogs at a dog show in Georgia. And then they all traveled across the country and started a dog pandemic. But it's been about 8 years since the big outbreak, but most places are pretty good about getting people, like if you're going to a big grooming or a big boarding facility, most require that just to keep the dogs protected.
I get that. He got kennel cough. He went to and he's not around. He doesn't go to the dogs. Yeah, he's not around a bunch of dogs, but it was the grooming, the groomers.
Yeah, because all it takes is that one. I mean, it's like a kid. That one coughing kid, and then everyone.
Yeah, everybody has it. Yeah, but he's fine. Okay. Well, that's great advice. Thank you. So how do people find you if they want to find you?
So I'm at Sunset Animal Hospital. It's off 59, close to the Olive Garden. My schedule is very weird. So because we're open 7 days a week, I can be there almost any day. But I'm not as often on the weekends. But you can always call and get my schedule. And they can. I do have appointments. So I see appointments on the weekdays that I'm there.
Okay. And hopefully soon you're going to have another nonprofit.
Yes. Hopefully soon we'll be opening something. It's just
making it all happen, finding a place. Yeah.
Our economy is great right now.
I know. Yes, we're all feeling that. Well, I'll be excited when you do that, and we will follow you there.
Yeah.
Will it be in the Loop?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it'll be
area.
Well, close to us.
Ideally.
Yeah, we like that. So super excited for you to do that. Thank you so much, Ashley.
Thanks for having me,
Dr. Woods. And whenever you do that, you'll have to come back and we'll talk about that.
We'll do a new update.
We'll do a new update. I love it. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So, what did you think? I really enjoyed our conversation about pet wellness. I learned a lot. Ashley gave us a lot of information on pet health and steps we can take to improve our pets' health and wellness for a long and active life. They are our kiddos. One thing I found interesting in our conversation today was that obesity is the #1 lifestyle-related disease among dogs and cats, leading to type 2 diabetes. The cause, overfeeding and not enough exercise. Ashley did say that some breeds are genetically predisposed to type 2 diabetes, but most cases are due to overfeeding and not enough exercise. And this is interesting to me because it is also the #1 lifestyle-related disease of us, you guessed it, humans. So it makes sense. We are responsible for our dogs and cats. So of course, our lifestyle disease would reflect in them too, because we're treating them the same as we treat ourselves. Very interesting, but it is very manageable. So, the top things you can do for your pet's wellness: 1, find a vet that you like, one that you connect with, and one that you're comfortable with. Do a wellness checkup every 6 months to a year. Get blood work done when they're young. This gives your vet a baseline, and when something does go wrong, they have some data to compare to. This allows your vet to stay ahead of the game for your pet's optimal health and well-being. And I really appreciated what Ashley said about vaccinations. Dogs have to get the rabies vaccination. It is mandatory. There are also other vaccinations, and Ashley suggested to choose the vaccines according to your dog's lifestyle. This makes so much sense to me. Another thing that you can do for your dog and cat's or your pet's wellness is to feed them good nutrition. Just like us, it matters what you put in your body, but also be careful what you feed them. Although we are trying to take care of our pets the best way we know how, people have been feeding their dogs gluten-free diets, and what they are finding is it sets your dog up for heart disease. So if you have any questions, please talk to your vet. And as always, one of my favorite topics, exercise and movement at every age. This can help manage weight gain, arthritis, and keep them just plain happy. You might have to decrease their activity as they get older, but don't stop moving. Also, dogs can benefit from taking supplements like turmeric and fish oil. I know we talked a little bit about herbs, but if you want to give your dog or pet herbs, I would talk to a practitioner of acupuncture and always tell your vet what they are taking. We also touched on insurance companies. Some insurance companies will cover your pets for wellness. So I think looking into that, especially when they're younger, not so much when they're older, it does cost more as they get older. So check into it at a young age and see what you can find to help you stay on track with your pet's wellness. And last but not least, your pet, if needed, can do acupuncture, hydrotherapy, massage, chiropractic care, and herbs like we've already mentioned. And that's a recap and a wrap for this episode. I hope you really enjoyed it. And if you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with your friends and family. You can also give me a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. It helps others find me as well. To get updates on new episodes and wellness inspiration in your inbox, please join the Wellness Inspired community. Go to thewellnessinspiredpodcast.com to sign up, and I'll put the link to the website in the show notes so you can just click and sign up. Also, there is a Facebook community at The Wellness Inspired, and you can follow me on Instagram at wellness_inspired. If you're in the Houston area or visiting and interested in acupuncture, herbal medicine, cupping, dry needling therapy, contact us. You can find out more on the website at element5om.com. That's element5, the number 5om.com. And again, I'll put the link in the show notes. If you're interested in health and wellness coaching, we can connect in the clinic or on Zoom. Reach out to us and we'll get you on the schedule. As always, I would love to hear your feedback. I'm dedicated to bringing you great content that is inspiring, informative, with an artsy, fun, and edgy spin. Thank you so much for listening. We'll meet again here next time. And never stop exploring, learning, loving, and being you. Bye.